I'm meteorologist Jaclyn Whittal. Today's Science Behind the Weather. We'll talk a little bit about the funnel cloud and a tornado, what the difference is between the two, and that kind of cloud that you're looking at right now. That's Mark Robinson and myself out chasing in the U.S. plains. That is the first sign of a potential tornado, and that is called a wall cloud. So you have a rotating storm. It starts to have a lowering at the base of the cloud, and then from there you might see something like this. So is this a funnel or a tornado? Well, it's actually a funnel cloud. So a funnel cloud is a rotating column of air, and it's spinning very, very fast, just like a tornado. But the key is it does not reach the ground. Whereas a tornado is a funnel cloud from the base of that cloud that actually makes contact with the ground. And depending on its strength, well, we can deem that an EF1 or an EF5, and that's done after the event has occurred. Jaclyn Whittal and Mark Robinson, our storm hunter, meteorologist here at TWN. Mark, you've been to the Arctic, you've been down to Antarctica.
Yes.
And you and I were down in the plains last year chasing storms. We're going to go again.
Yeah, this is actually my first love. I mean, I'd love to get to see some of those other places like Antarctica and the Arctic, but you know, Tornado Alley is definitely my first love. Getting down to chase tornadoes and thunderstorms is what I love to do, and I can't wait to get back down there.
You've been doing it for about 10 years. And
a little over 10 years, yeah.
And last year we went down. There's our Weather Network vehicle. You can see there. That's in the States among our other storm chaser team here. But, you know, we put a lot of miles on that car. Do you think we're going to be this active this season?
You know, it's definitely. I think it was actually a surprisingly inactive year, although we had these big outbreaks.
You're right, compared to other years. Yeah.
We actually had fewer tornadoes than we normally expect.
Right.
So we did have a lot of driving to do. You know, the two of us spent many hours cramped in a very small car together, and she didn't kill me. This is the bonus. I actually survived it.
We got along quite well.
Yes.
We had a lot of laughs, but you know, it can be intense in the car.
Yeah.
It can certainly be a very serious thing, especially in terms of forecasting the right target, getting in the right spot.
Yeah.
Looking at some models, this is the American model, the GFS model. Tell us a little bit about what we're looking at here and what you expect in April.
What I want to show you here,
Sure.
This is the jet stream. So what we're looking for is what we call a trough, and those troughs are what bring in the storms. So if you take a look right here, what Jaclyn's drawing right here is this troughiness, and when you get that, you actually end up with the warm air moving up from the Gulf, and that's where we get our fuel. The fuel for thunderstorms comes from the Gulf of Mexico, moves up into the plains, especially as we get into May.
Sure.
But
yeah.
just because you've got the fuel there, it doesn't necessarily mean you've got the storms.
No,
you need
not necessarily.
At least one more thing. If you go to the next one, I'll
Sure,
show you that.
I just wanted to show real quickly here that these temperatures for viewers, they're getting up into the 90s in northwest Texas and into western Oklahoma, which is usually where we're stationed, in and around Kansas, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
That's good news that we're seeing these temperatures in the 90s.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when we're seeing the fuel already in place, when we get into May, as we get these triggers moving down from Canada, so we get this cold air moving down from here, so you can sort of see the wind barbs showing that the wind is moving down here. Here's all our fuel moving up. These cold fronts moving down are what is going to trigger off the thunderstorms, and that's what we need, and that's what we're sort of beginning to look at this point.
And I'm just going to draw this arrow here. Tell us why it's important to see this southerly flow off the Gulf of Mexico coming into the plains. What does that do?
Well, this is all our hot, moist air that we're trying to get from down in the tropics, and when you have hot, wet air, that is essentially the fuel. That's the fuel for storms. Yeah, that's the instability for storms.
Okay, so far, if we looked at this is the next couple weeks. April doesn't look too bad. If we look at May, this is a monthly look at May. A lot of cold air in the eastern parts of the States and Canada. We've got a nice surge of above seasonal temperatures right in the plains for May.
Yeah, this could be quite an interesting year this year.
This weather's
Happy spring to everyone. It happens on or around the 20th of March, maybe the 21st, depending on the year. And it's the first day we welcome in spring, but not always spring temperatures. Most locations will be at or below seasonal for 2014. But it happened at 12:57 this year, Eastern Daylight Time, and we call it the spring equinox. Now, even though the long-range pattern is very cold, there's one good piece of news here. Our sun angle is much higher in the sky this time of year, so it keeps us warmer just based on solar radiation. Speaking of solar radiation, summer season, when it's tilted away and the sun is at Tropic of Capricorn in the southern hemisphere, then we're into our winter season. When it's sliced right down the middle and the sun rays are directly at the equator, we have approximately 12 hours equal daylight and equal darkness, and that's called the equinox.
cool start.